Well, welcome back. In the last tutorial on logical reasoning, we just introduced you to what logic is and different types of statements. We also talked about how you identify logical statements and differentiate logical statements from illogical statements. So if you have not seen that video, please go to the description box below and watch that video accordingly so that you'll be able to know where you're actually coming from. But then in this video, we are going to be talking about one of the logical connectives, and that connectives is the conjunction. So we want to look at the conjunction as a logical connective. So how do we use conjunction to bring together simple statements? Now this is what we do. The first thing we want to do is conjunction is another name for conjunction is actually and. It's not different from the knowledge. It's not far from the knowledge that you have in English. So we can use that with a conjunction, or we can see you hear me use and from time to time. We're also referring to conjunction. And this symbol, when you see this symbol, we are referring to conjunction. We call it cap. That's the name. Or once you see this symbol, either I just write the symbol or I say cap. That means we are talking about conjunction. Now that being said, we need to know that depending on the number of simple statements that we have, that will determine the number of outcomes that we'll be looking at. For instance, the last tutorial we talked about two simple statements such that, let's say P is boy is smart, the boy is smart, and Q is the boy is intelligent. The boy is intelligent. I mean the boy is fat. Let's just say the boy is fat. Now, if I should write a composite statement, these two, of course, know they are simple statements. If I should bring out a composite statement from here by saying the boy is smart and fat, the boy is smart and fat, I can simply represent that mathematically by writing P cap Q. That's what it means. That means the boy is smart, we represent P, and smart. I mean, the boy is smart. P represent the boy is smart, and Q represent the boy is fat. So what that means now is the boy is smart and fat. So this is the way we represent conjunction. But then, without understanding, how do we now form our logical reasoning table? How do we form our table from here? The first you need to know is when you have two simple statements, there's this expression which is 2 raised by in order for you to know the number of outcomes that you're looking at, 2 raised by n, where n is the number of simple statements. So when you do that, you have 2 over 2. So it implies that you should have 4 possible outcomes. 4 outcome when you have 2 simple statements. So if you have 3 simple statements, there's a way we can combine 3 simple statements together and we form our table. So if you have 3 simple statements, all you need to do is you do 2 raised by 3, and that will give you 8. So meaning that you need to have 8 possible outcomes, because there are different ways you can manipulate. So let's just go with these 2 simple statements. So we have P and we have Q. Of course, we know that we need 4 outcomes. Now that you know that your outcomes are not more than 4, it means that you divide this by 2, meaning that you'll have true twice and you also have false twice. So we have something like this: true, false, false. That's where you start from. If you have 3 simple statements, I'll also give an example on that. If you have 3 simple statements, that means you are supposed to have 8 outcomes. So dividing 8 by 2 will give you 4. So meaning that you have true 4 times and you have false 4 times. I'll give you an example on that. So once you do for the first statement, you are trying to get the possible outcomes. Once you do for the first statement, P, true, true, false, false. So all you just need to do is interchange it for Q. So that you have true, false, true, false. So, and this is conjunction. So we want to get P and Q. Now what this means is that for the first one, the boy is smart. If it is true that the boy is smart, and it is true that the boy is fat, what will be the outcome? The boy is true, is smart and fat. What will be the outcome? Now, in order for you to understand, okay, let me just fill this in first. True, false, false, and true. Now, in order for you to get a true, since it is and this, the first statement and the second statement must be true. Sorry, this is false, not true. Now, in order for you to understand this, if, for example, as a student, the head of school requests that you send for a male student that is smart and fat. Listen and listen carefully. Send for a male student that is smart and fat. Now, the head of school will consider that message delivered once you're able to bring a smart and fat student. Else, you have not done anything. Let me take that again. The school head requests that you send for a student who is smart and fat. So, if you're able to bring a smart student and that student is also fat, then that means that you have done the job that's given to you. So let's now go. Now, the student that you brought, that student is smart and fat. Have you done the job? True. That means you've done it. The second one, you were able to get a smart student, but that student is slim, not fat. Have you done the job? Will the school be happy? The answer is no. So we are forced. That's why we are for this. If you're unable to get a smart student, but that student is actually fat, you could only get someone that is fat, but the person is not that smart. Will the school head be happy? The answer is no. And finally, you couldn't even get a smart student. Neither is the student that you brought fat. Will the school head be happy? The answer is no. So that's the way you understand this. Now let me take um, three simple statements. Let me show you how you go about forming your table for three simple statements. For three simple statements, we have, let's say, P, Q, R for three simple statements. We said you need to do 2 raised by n, so you know how of outcomes. So now that we have three simple statements, so 2 raised by give us 8. So this means that we need 8 outcomes. So how do we fill this in? So let's form our table. We have P, Q, and R. We expect to have 8 outcomes. So we have true 4 times, true, true, true. And we have false, 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 false. Now the next one is quite easy. It's just for you to just, interchange. The first one, we divided 8 by 4. I mean by 2. So we got 4. Now getting 4 means that you write true 4 times and false 4 times. Now the next one, now divide 4 by 2. That means you will have true 2 times, false twice, then you now interchange it like that and like that. So we have true, false, false, true, true, false, false. And the last one will now be true, false, true, false, true, false, true. Now, if we are to find P cap P cap R, P cap R, P cap R. Don't forget we're considering P and R. This cap means and P and R. Now, Like I showed you earlier, you were able to, you know, you were able to get someone that satisfies the first condition and also satisfies the second condition. So that means you have done well. So that will be true. You were able to get someone that satisfied the first condition but could not meet the second condition. With the person that sent you on errand, will you be happy? The answer is no. So this will be false. So if you follow that, this will be true. This will be false. 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 Let's take one more. Q cap R. Q cap R. So I consider Q and R true, meaning that you're able to satisfy the first condition and the second condition, so the person will be happy. So the next one will be false. False true will be false. False will be false. True will be true. True false will be false. False true will be false. And false will be false. So that's the way you decode that information when it comes to conjunction. Now, finally, let me show you how you can break down when you are connecting more than two simple statements. For instance, you want to form a table that has to do with, let's say, P cap Q cap R, something like this. So how do we go about this? Now let's do that. Of course, we know that we have three simple statements. So the first thing you do is you form your table. And since we have three simple statements, obviously you know that your outcome will be 8. So we have P, Q, and R. So then we have true, 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 false, 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 false. Then for Q we have true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false. Then the last one will have be true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. One thing you should observe is that the last the last simple statement is always true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. So you should take note of that. Now, the question is, want to compute a logical table for this P cap Q, P cap Q, then cap R. So this is our aim. Now, based on the law of mathematics, anytime you have anything in brackets, that means that the law of odd mass still holds. So you need to give that one preference first before you can now connect it with the other one. So we need to get P cap Q first. P cap Q. P cap Q means P and Q. And of course, like we said earlier, when the both statements, when they are true, then you return true. I explained that earlier. You were told to get a smart student and fat at the same time, not just smart alone, and also fat. Perhaps maybe the school leader has something in mind that it only takes energy, or it takes someone that is fat to do. And not just that person is fat, the person has to be intelligent to be able to achieve the success that the school leader is aiming at achieving. So if you don't get those two things right, obviously whatever they want to do might not be possible. So if you're able to get a smart student and person is fat, the school head will be happy. So that will be true. So the only time you have to is the time when you have done the work perfectly based on the condition. Then the next one, true will also give you true. Then true false will give you false. True false will give you false. False true will give you false. False true will give you false. Then false 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 and false. Yes, it's quite easy. Then we can now that we've gotten P cap Q, then we can now bring it together with cap R now. So we have P cap Q, P cap Q, then cap R. So P cap Q and R. So you bring it together. So true, true will give us true. True, the same thing applies. True, true will give us true. True, false will give us false. True, false will give us false. False, false will also give us false. True, false, false. False, false, false. True, false, false. False, false, false. So this is actually the final answer. So I believe it's quite easy for you to understand. And if you have any challenge, do well to leave me a comment in the comment section, and I'll be handy to respond to your issues. That'll be all for now. In the next lesson, we'll go to the next logical connective. I believe you've gained quite a lot from this particular video. Please do well to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also hit the notification bell. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.